The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café.
Welcome to this episode of Pit Life BBQ. Gather around the pit with your hosts, Johnny Maggs and Greg the Barbecue Broker DiGiorgio. Let's talk barbecue.
What's up, everybody? Coming to you live from the Studio 21 Podcast Café in Salem, New Hampshire. It's the Pit Life BBQ podcast, where we talk everything barbecue and a lot of other topics around the pit. Well, we had the announcement last week by Messy Mike that was his last show. Very sad, bittersweet to see him go. We've gone through a lot to, bring this to what it is and build it up, and I, thanked him last week and have to thank him again for everything. We made an incredible team and brought a lot of content out there on different levels and introduced new products and new people. And, not a nice way to put this, but, the show must go on. That's what they say in show business. And I am happy to announce that the position of co-host is going to be filled by former guest twice and good friend of ours, good friend of mine, Greg DiGiorgio, the barbecue broker.
So good to be here.
Welcome to the team, brother.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Hey, cheers.
Cheers, man.
I'll drink to that.
Right? Really good to be here. I'm really excited. I've watched the show for a while, and you guys have built a great thing here, and I'm great to be a part. I'm happy to be a part of it now. I really am, and to officially collaborate Pit Life BBQ and the New England Pitmasters, which is a group that I help run with.
And I'm an admin also.
We help run,
yep.
With Kevin and Chris and a bunch of other guys, and it's happy to have this official collaboration, so to speak, happen. I'm jazzed.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to get this rocking. But I'm very excited today. We are being joined today by a good friend of mine, and now will be a good friend of yours.
It's going to be a good friend of mine, no matter if it's
we'll get you in with all the boys. Today, we are being joined by good friend Alton Matthews, better known as the Dawgfatha from the Dawgfatha's Barbecue page on YouTube. Alton, you there, brother?
I'm here, man. What's going on, fellas?
Right.
Okay. Don't give me the what's going on, fellas. Come on, give me the line, brother.
What's cracking?
Yeah, baby. What's cracking? Dude, thank you so much for taking time out and joining us for a little chewing the fat today.
Glad to be here, man. Glad to be here.
Good. So, anybody who doesn't know you, where you're from, how'd your barbecue journey start, what led you to YouTube?
All right, well, hey, man, I've been barbecuing since I was a kid, really, I grew up with my dad and my mom grilling on the back patio, and, that's kind of how it started. Progressed to the fact, after I moved to Austin, I grew up in Killeen, I was an Army brat. And so moved to Austin and, did some electronic school and whatnot. And when I moved down here, I was that guy that was breaking all the rules in the apartment complex, having my barbecue grill on the patio. And I remember one year, it was my birthday. We had a little party, had a grill going on the third floor of an apartment building on the patio, on the balcony. And
love it.
Got busted by the management, and literally we had my friends over, say, hold up, popped it open, flipped the meat over, closed it, we picked it up. It was one of those 55-gallon barrels, that's horizontal.
Yeah.
We moved all the furniture out of the way. We moved it through the apartment and down 3 flights of stairs and back out to the front just in time to put the meat again. And that's just kind of how I used to do things, man.
Still cooking the whole time. That's beautiful.
Just love it.
Yeah,
that's
man.
passion. Right? That's the passion right there.
For sure.
That was just, the passion I had to barbecue. I just did it as much as I could, anytime I could. I worked in the semiconductor industry at a job that I worked, nights, and I would be that guy. You would be leaving to go to work at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. I've already got the pit fired up and out there cooking, food. So, like I said, I kept doing that, man, and playing around with all kinds of stuff and recipes and this, that, and the other. And it progressed to I started doing on-site barbecue catering, and I started my LLC, the Dawgfatha's Barbecue LLC. Started that back in 2007. Started that before I actually left the semiconductor world. And man, I did nothing but barbecue for 6-7 months. But that was when we just started having our kids and didn't have, this thing called medical insurance and all that, and figured, probably better get my butt back into the industry here for a little bit. So anyway, got back into power wholesale. That's what I do now. But kept, catering on the side and that type of thing. And, it just kept progressing and progressing, man. And finally, one of my friends, you probably know him, Johnny, Mr. Federico. He's the official photographer for the Dawgfatha's Barbecue YouTube
Federico,
channel.
My brother, he's in the chat. He's in the chat.
Yeah. He might be in there today. I know he's supposed to.
I see him right here. That's my dog.
You know. But yeah, Federico kept at me, him and my wife Jeanne. Hey, you should start this YouTube thing, and man, I finally decided, you know what? All right, let's do it. So we kicked it off. What was that? December of 2018. Yeah. That's when I put out the first video, and man, it's been a blast, man. It's a lot to learn. Doing a lot of this stuff on my own makes it pretty cumbersome, but it's a lot of fun, man. So I'm just glad to be barbecuing and just get what I know out there and meet a lot of fantastic people like yourself, man.
Oh yeah, I caught up. Oh man, let's see. We're going on. We'll be hitting our 2-year anniversary of the show in the beginning of August. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I jumped in. It was the I followed different guys here and there on YouTube. I wasn't heavy into it, but when we started it was somebody was on the hot seat that night of the week we started, and I watched the hot seat with CJ and Kent and. Started jumping in the chat and slowly getting to know everybody, and next thing you know, we're having full-blown conversations during everyone's lives, commenting on, checking out everyone's videos, and really we've built a family on it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
CJ came out here back in January for a couple things, and he goes, I can't come into New England without meeting up with you.
So cool, isn't
it? And we walked in. You walked in the house, and big hugs, and the
twinsies with your pork pie hats, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, let's talk about that for a quick one.
The allergies kicked up for a quick second.
Yeah,
and it was like it was literally the first time we ever met each other.
Yeah,
but we've been friends for a year and a half.
Felt like you knew each other already.
And
just putting
with
the name
everybody.
with the face, it's almost surreal. You're like, whoa.
Yeah.
I've talked to you how many times online?
Just same thing. If Alton comes up here or I go down there, we're going to meet up and, like we've known each other for years. It's a beautiful thing. The friendships and the family bond that barbecue has,
That's one of the things
has awarded us all with is the true friendships we have all over the country, even all over the world for that matter.
Yep. Which
that's what we call that hashtag barbecue fan.
That's it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And it's different all over the world too. And it's interesting to see what other people do at different parts of the world, different parts of the country. There's always something that makes barbecue unique, right?
Alton, just letting you know, Kent's starting some trouble right now. All right, well, let's get into that question. So, you were going to bring it up. Kent wants to know, who makes the better jug, Alton or Jeanne?
Well, let's tell people what the jug is first. We're going to explain what is the jug. I mean, we obviously have done our research on the jug.
Oh, yeah.
But we can't just talk about the jug like everyone knows what the jug is.
So, bring up the question.
What is the jug?
All right. So, the jug. Basically, how it ended up, here in Texas, Austin area, man, we're big into Tex-Mex when that means margaritas. You want to go out to your favorite place, get your margaritas or your Mexican martinis, or whatever. And the problem that I have is that it seems like everywhere we go, they're just really weak. I can't really get one that just really kind of get you on that edge, And, man, I kept telling Jeanne, I said, man, I need something that's going to have a little bit more kick to it, And of course, her being a former bartender, she's like, okay, I'll get in the lab and play around. And she created the jug, and all it really is this, you take your sweet and sour and your tequila and you add your little orange juice, or you can skip the orange juice if you want to. Or,
what do you do?
Maybe
Do you skip
Cointreau.
the orange juice, or do you add the orange juice?
We go both. We go back and forth, man.
Okay.
I think the batch she just made yesterday actually, I don't think it actually has orange juice in it, but I think the one before did.
Because I remember hearing you say that orange juice adds a little bit more natural sweetness in there. So if you like that, right, that would be a good option.
Absolutely.
Or if you like it a little stronger, you just fill the orange juice section with maybe more alcohol.
That's it.
There you go. You can put a little Cointreau in there, and mix it up or whatever.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And, the thing that takes it over the top is she adds in vodka, and vodka goes with just about everything.
Hell yeah.
So when you actually if you've been up to the grocery stores, you've seen the big glass jars of sangria.
Oh yeah.
So basically
the old Carlo Rossi jugs.
I'm sorry, say
the old Carlo Rossi jugs.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm talking with the wine, the old wine jugs, which were actually which were cheap, like $10 a bottle for a whole gallon, which made those the best. But everyone I know that makes wine always saves those. And uses that.
And that's where we get those jugs, man, and she'll concoct it in there. I think you guys have probably seen the video that we did on it, and that's where we put it in, And if you really look at it, pretty much like half that jug is liquor.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I measured. Look it, and it's really deceiving because depending if you have sausage fingers like I do, and you're going 3 fingers of vodka, my 3 fingers are like my wife's whole hand. So we might have to make a disclaimer.
Exactly, man.
Inches. But anyway,
well, no, on that particular video. Now I'll pub this video a little bit.
Yep.
He has a link to someone who he knows who does
the vinyl printing.
I saw has sticker kits made up that you can buy and put right on it for the perfect measurement.
You sell those sticker kits.
Absolutely.
So then we can make not just any jug.
You can make
the jug. Shit.
Yeah, that was one of Jeanne's friends. They got to talking one day, and she said, "Hey, well, I do these vinyls," and she sent some. And every time people would come to the house and they would see, they're like, "Where did you get this jug from?" We explained, "Hey, it's just a regular jug, but we got the vinyls." Well, I want some vinyls, and so we put the link in there so that if you guys out there want to make your own jug, you know where you can get the glass from. Now you know where you can get the vinyls from, so you can create it. And in fact, it's funny we're talking about this because one of my friends, dear friend from high school, I just got to see her last year. We hadn't seen each other since high school. And she sent me a text asking me about the jug again, and I sent her the link to the video, and she shot me a picture back the next day, or actually yesterday. She shot me a picture back where she actually made the jug. So I thought beautiful. That was pretty cool. It had the labels and everything on it, and yeah, man. But that's how the jug came about. And like I said, every time we have people over to the house, we'll have the jug. Basically, what we'll do is we'll get a glass of ice and we'll give you a dos equis, and you kind of mix it together. Or you can just put it on the rocks and just do it straight. And
so, do you give them a spare bedroom with those ingredients, so they have a place to crash? Do you give them a spare bedroom to crash in after they drink the jug?
You know what, man? If it comes down to that, it comes down to that. It's we had it before.
I mean, let's face it.
We're responsible about it, and we know it's strong. But we'll warn you, hey, man, you're gonna run up on it thinking it's this is pretty good, but it's not all that strong. Yeah, it really is. It'll sneak up on you later. In fact, Johnny Mags, we had James from Aiming and Claiming over here. We got to cooking one day, and he filled up his Yeti tumbler with that and didn't put any dos equis in it.
Oh, so you had the 30 ounces of straight jug. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. And next thing I know, James was like walking around looking loopy, and he says, "Man," he's like, "I didn't think this was going to be this strong." And he watched me make one, and I was putting dos equis. He's like, "Hey, whoa, you putting beer in there?" Like, yeah. He's like, oh, I didn't put beer in this. I'm like, I guess you're gonna be here a while.
Because there are versions. He has three or four different versions of the jug.
Because a couple months ago, they had a meetup down at Alton's, and although a bunch of the boys got together and a couple flew in and drove in, and everyone in the area, and they did a live hot seat with CJ and Kent from right where Alton's sitting right now.
Uh-huh.
And CJ was sipping on the jug, and he got about 1.5 into it. And from what Alton was saying, his wife Jeanne just kept on bringing him waters. And CJ's a big boy like myself, you know. It hit him hard. And also another funny story about that. Our good friend C-Mac, Craig McPherson, asked if people were allowed in here in the studio today, but with the COVID going on, still no one's allowed in the studio because he heard you were on, so he was going to come in his 6'10" frame wearing the Home Depot bucket and keep running behind us.
You know what, man? It was a fun time. And man, C-Mac, I apologize. We weren't trying to ruin the hot seat for you that night. We were literally having a lot of fun that night. And I think, if I remember correctly, that was Justin from Baby Back Maniac that was running around with the bucket on his head in the yard, it was kind of funny. Yeah,
he was running with the bucket, then you and Dash would just appear in the frame on certain times when it was time for a super shot or something.
It's funny thing about drinking and barbecue, isn't it?
The jug.
Absolutely.
So you have, it's funny because you have, probably came up with this jug when you're sitting around waiting to spray your brisket or waiting to wrap your ribs, because we have a lot of time in between if we're not, preparing for a lot of sides or doing anything. So you come up with this jug, and the catch-22 is, when you barbecue, you love to drink, but you can't drink too much because you have a responsibility, especially on these really long cooks. So keep it hydrated.
Oh, because when you're barbecuing, you're literally playing with fire.
Literally playing with fire. If you're not on an easy bake. Oh, did I say that out loud?
That's all right.
Okay.
It's an easy bake.
Easy bake.
So, Alton, everyone who knows you knows that your backyard is known as Barbecue Boulevard. Let's tell the people on some of the equipment you might be having out there.
Well, let's see. So I've got a couple of Weber kettles. I always got to have the faithful Weber kettles. I've got a pit barrel cooker back here. I've got the Yoder YS640 back here, which I've got some beef ribs on for a video I'm filming right now, as a matter of fact.
Nice.
I've got a Camp Chef over here, the 36-inch Camp Chef.
Okay. I've
got two portable C4 from M Grills, the C4 grills. So I've got the C4 and the C4S. I also have the M16 from M Grills. If you guys don't know about M Grills, you got to check them out. Travis is doing just bananas work out there. Okay. So got that. That completes my M Grills line. Then I've got a couple of Lone Star grills.
Ooh.
So I've got my.
You have a couple Lone Star grills? You say a couple?
Man.
Wait, are they offsets? Both offsets? Because I know they make offsets, right? The Lone Stars?
So there's the offset right there.
Okay.
So that is the 36-inch vertical offset with the warming oven.
Okay, nice.
And then I've got right there, I've got a tarp on it to keep the rain and stuff out of it, but that's my 60 by 30 Santa Maria grill. And
nice.
Then right here in front of them, right in between them, is my standalone fire grill from Backline Smokers.
Backline Fab.
Definitely I've got that going. And soon we're going to be adding a competition pit from Backline Smokers.
Okay. Okay. So do you
Ryan is working on that now.
What do you, for your catering jobs, what do you prefer to cook on? Do you use all of them for different reasons, for different applications? Tell us about that.
Well, what I did when I was doing full scale online, when I was doing on-site barbecue catering, I actually have a trailer pit.
Okay.
So the first trailer pit that I had an old country trailer pit that was built down in Laredo, and that was one that I'd wheel out to your location and fire up and cook, whatever it was. I then moved on, had a HBT
trailer. Yep, those are the ones with
the
with the diamond plating on them, right?
Diamond plate, exactly.
Kevin, yours favorite smokers, by the way.
Yeah.
So how'd you like that smoker?
That was actually a pretty good one.
That was a trailer.
It was a good one. It was a good one.
That was a trailer as well.
Yeah, that was a trailer.
Did you have the warming
well.
cabinet in that as well? Because a lot of them come with the warming cabinets. Those
No, I didn't. See, the funny thing about that was I sold it. You know, I sold my first pit, and I ended up getting I don't know if you remember. I don't think they make them anymore, but it was DPP, which is diamond plate pit. I had what was called a Fat 50, and that thing I had it built up in Dallas or whatever. But that thing was so huge, man. It took up my whole garage. You know, whenever I'd really put a bunch of meat on there, I only had that thing maybe half full. You know, and so
how many gallons was that? Was that how big was that
Dude,
one?
Man, don't even get me lying on how many gallons it was. It was a huge pit. Yeah. I mean, it was huge.
You sell it? You still have it?
No, I sold it. Okay. There's a guy that's here in Austin, Keith's Barbecue. Good little plug for Keith. He's a cool dude. But he bought the pit and he put it in. He has a bus that he uses and goes to South by Southwest and ACL and all this stuff. And that pit is still in there. So it went to a great owner and it's getting a lot of good use. So, but no, I got rid of that one and I didn't have a pit for a little while. And then there was a bar here in the Pflugerville where I'm at. They wanted some barbecue. So I got to go buy a pit right quick. So I went and bought the HBT.
Yeah.
So that's how I got that one. It was a HBT weekender, which was just a small offset trailer pit.
Yeah.
But I ended up selling that one a little while back because it was pretty much in the garage. I wasn't really using it. I knew I was going to get this pit from Ryan at Backline Smokers, so I went ahead and sold that guy. So now whenever I'm doing, orders, I'll fire up my LSG and I'll get things going on my LSG. Before that, if I had more that was I needed more capacity, I would pull that HBT out into the driveway and I'd cook on that thing too.
I'll tell you
mostly it's the LSG, man. I do a lot of that cooking on.
I'll tell you what, one of our listeners just said it. Man, your wife must be a saint. I'm letting you have all these grills because I'll tell you this. I just have my Air Jordan stacked in the breezeway and I get yelled at. Never mind, smokers lined up in the back. Oh, the star of the show.
Yeah. Oh. No, Jeanne, get in there, honey.
Let's go, Jeanne.
Now you have to be part of this.
Hi, Jeanne. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, thanks.
I just want to thank you for letting Alton have all those smokers.
Oh, sure.
So we can make awesome videos and keep us entertained.
So you asked earlier who makes the better jug.
Yeah,
I make the stronger jug.
And he said that when you weren't here as well. Just so you know, he actually means it.
There you go.
And Alton, that question came from our good friend Ian Hemming from CustomCuttingBoardsRS.com. Get yours now. Get your brisket board, and he also does customs. So check him out. It'll be the last cutting board you will ever buy.
Where's that from again?
In Texas.
No, what's the name of it?
CustomCuttingBoardsRS.com. That's the letter
warp
R.
After you wash them so many times, it starts to warp on you, crack in the middle.
The brisket board is what? A good 3 feet by 18 inches anyway?
It is enormous.
That's awesome. Yeah. I have a quick question. I have a quick question about I saw in one of your videos that when you were using the I think you were doing a brisket, a recent video, maybe your last 1 or 2 videos, that you put a smoke tube in your Yoda YS pellet smoker.
Yes, sir.
Is that because you're just not going to get that smoke, or you feel you don't get that? I've seen it done too, and I've seen a lot of people do it. You just don't get as much smoke in the pellet as you would on an offset, but you still want to get that smoke flavor in there. Correct?
Right.
Okay.
Right. So so what I do with it is I'll fill that tube up, get it burning. And I'll put that in the pit as well. So what happens is again, you're not going to get the same smoke flavor. And people will tell you that, well, I don't buy it. You start off a lot lower in temperature. I'll start off probably 225 or so, and I'll run that for the first 2 to 3 hours, and I'll run that smoke tube in there as well, just to try and get a good little extra smoke going. Once we get past that point, then I'll go ahead and get back to my normal cooking temperatures. And for me, that tends to get me a little bit more smoke flavor into my meat, but it still does not compare to when I fire up the offset LSG.
Yeah.
You know, burning straight wood splits, post oak wood splits, it's not going to be the same on a pellet smoker, but you know, you can make it work.
It's because the wood has so many different stages of combustion. And when you throw that in
Absolutely.
there and you run, I mean, you can run it off charcoal, you're kind of using that end stage of the combustion, that end flavor. If wood, say, has 10 stages of combustion or whatever, you're only getting maybe 8 through 10 with charcoal. You're missing 1 through 7, all those different flavor profiles that all the different, you know, that as you burn the wood, that it cycles through. And that's, I think, adds that authentic flavor to, you know, any barbecue. I noticed actually when you wrap your brisket, you like to do it during the thermostall. During the stall. You wrapped it like 165, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you feel you have the color? Let's talk about on a stick burner versus your YS. Would you wrap the same time on your pellet that you would on your stick burner? Or do you just basically go off the color? If it has the bark you want, then it doesn't really matter what the temperature is. You want to protect that bark and then let it ride, wrap it, you crank up the heat and then finish it off. Is that kind of your method, or do you always stick to always wrapping in the middle of the stall no matter what?
I always go by color.
Boom.
So once I get to the color that I'm looking for, then it's time to wrap. You know, obviously whenever you're smoking, you're not going to get any more smoke in the meat once you hit 140 or so.
Right.
You know, so at that point, you're just trying to get to where you're finishing off the cook of the meat and then try to get the meat tender.
And brisket,
Yeah, so what I do is once I hit that color, it just so happens that it's typically around 155 to 165, 170 maybe. That's when I'll go ahead and wrap it. You know, and when I wrap it and get it back on the pit, I kick the temperature up another probably 25, 30 degrees.
I usually smoke my briskets around that 250 to 270. So my stalls don't usually last as long as they should if you smoked it under 250. So I always wrap usually around the 175 mark, let it kind of, you know, shrink a little bit, push that water out, and then eventually that 170, 175 mark, when it's just kind of creeping out of the stall, then it basically looks at me and says, I'm ready. Because I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again, that briskets are like children. Because they just all behave differently.
Absolutely.
You can't just say, I'm going to cook this brisket. And I get the question all the time, what should I cook my brisket up to? Or what should I wrap it at? Or what's the desired temperature? And I say, guys, you just got to go by the feel. To probe temp and feel. You can feel those two muscles moving back and forth with that. Absolutely. When all the connective tissue breaks down, you can pick it up and you can feel if it's ready.
Yep.
You know?
And that's why I tell people, you know, when they ask me, I don't give them a temperature. You know, I try to make it a point to say, hey, I'm going by the color.
Yep.
You know, and when you say, well, you know, when it's finished, I cook it till it's done. I'm not being funny about it, but you'll know when you poke it with that probe and there's no resistance there. You know, it's just like you're stabbing jelly.
Yep.
You know that it's ready to go. And that's what you're looking for. And I think that, you know, the beginners out there, they, you know, and I understand it, you know, it's something that's totally new to them and they want some sort of guide to go by. And so what I used to tell people, you know, if you just really don't understand it, I'll tell you, just put your meat on the pit, smoke it until you get to an internal temperature of 150, 155, take it out of the pit and throw it in the oven. You know, because you're not a stick burner, you know, you're wanting to make the brisket, but there's a little bit more to it, you know, and if you're not really comfortable with, you know, maintaining the fire and keeping those temperatures, this is going to be the easiest way for you. You know, you got the smoke on it. At that point, you really just need the heat to break down the connective tissue and everything and get that brisket tender. So put it in the oven. Now, if you are comfortable with running your pit, you know, long term and maintaining fires, then cool. You wrap it at that 150, 155 or whatever and let it go until you get up to about 200 degrees, and then you just want to make sure it just feels really jiggly, and that's about it. Now, do I do it that way now? No, I don't really do it that way, but that's a good guide for people that really don't, you know, understand it and kind of want something to get into.
Yeah. I actually like the way you probed your brisket. You always say you don't want to poke a lot of holes in your wrap, right?
Right.
And I've been going usually, I'll put one hole in the point area in the middle, kind of feel left, right, up, down, and then I do the same in like the flat. But I saw how you did it, and I actually liked what he did. Was he just stuck it in the middle from the side, and then he could go left to the flat, couple areas, and then turn it and go this way, go into the point. And you still got your one hole. You're not letting it all the steam out or you just kind of. I thought that was a pretty simple little thing sometimes, right?
Oh yeah,
just little things.
And that's a great segue into my next one of how he inserts his pro position. You did a cook yesterday of I'm getting excited just thinking about it. A 40-ounce Wagyu tomahawk on the.
I almost fell off my chair.
Exactly.
Sorry.
On the good old Weber kettle.
Yes, sir.
How was that, brother? It looked amazing.
Man, that tomahawk was just awesome.
Was it smoked first and then reverse seared, or did you just go direct?
Always. Reverse sear is the way to go for me. That's the way to go on a steak.
Yes,
so
I believe it.
I actually released that video this morning, so it's out there if you guys want to take a look at it. But yeah, what I did with that steak, I got some suckle busters in from old Dan and Rick, and so it was the first time I'd ever used the 1836 beef rub.
Delicious.
So, it was. I put that with that SPG, and man, we coated that tomahawk down, and we smoked it on the kettle with some hickory. And the way I do mine is I smoke it to about 80 degrees, and then I'll flip it over and let it go up again to about 115. And then I'll kick the temperature up, get the grill grates on or whatever, and then once I slap it on there, I'm usually, depending on the thickness of the meat, with that big, thickness on that tomahawk, I ran those for about 2 minutes a turn.
Yeah.
So I hit 2 minutes, flipped it. Next 2 minutes, I flipped and turned. 2 minutes, flipped it, and then it was ready to go.
Yeah, because those
nice little diamond pattern on it, and man, that thing came out just. It was perfect, man. It was perfect.
Yeah, because those grill grates, if I'm not mistaken, they had they cranked up for you well over 600 degrees. You're probably cooking at about 650.
Absolutely. I think yesterday when I ran that, I think these were up to about 580. It was when I took the last reading on it anyway before I started cooking on it. But it was about 580. But yeah, I've had my grill grates up to 700, 750. I have a set that I actually melted. I didn't know they could melt, at the time. This is when I first got them, and I didn't realize they could melt. But yeah, they'll melt if you get them too hot, guys. So don't overheat them.
But yeah, that was a beautiful steak. It was phenomenal.
I saw that. I did.
It was phenomenal. So Alton, what is your favorite protein to cook?
My favorite to cook.
And then I'm going to want to know the least favorite after that.
Well, I'll be honest with you.
Fair enough.
Okay.
I cook steak a lot, but I have to say that my favorite to cook, just because of the wow factor, has got to be the porchetta.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's a video I didn't watch. I gotta watch that one. Yep.
So that thing comes out, man, and people see it, and you tap on it, and you can just hear the crunchiness. And I start cutting with that serrated knife.
Oh.
And it's awesome. It's awesome stuff, man. So I actually made one of those when all the guys were here for the meetup.
Now, is that your favorite thing to eat as well as to cook, or do you have something different that you like to eat rather than cook? That's a fun thing to cook that you like. So is there is your favorite thing to eat as well for barbecue?
Well, I know this is gonna sound funny, but as much as I barbecue, I don't eat it as much as people would think I do. Even when I got with my friend John Brotherton has a barbecue spot here, and we go up and do brisket camp at Texas A&M. So we do brisket camp and barbecue camp, and the funny thing is we're cooking all these briskets, and I mean it might be a good 80 something, close to 100 briskets we're cooking. We might have one bite.
And I'm sure it's usually off the point.
Oh, of course. Yeah, we're gonna get the best part now. Come on,
right?
But no, we'll take off, man, and go get fried chicken or sandwich or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, I don't know. For me, man, I like grilled steak. I think a ribeye, nothing beats a good ribeye. So I kind of like ribeyes. Outside of that, man, I think it's probably a.
Well, if you're not going to eat those beef ribs that you're cooking, I'll give you my address. You could just overnight them to Johnny and I'm sure we'll give you a shout out. I promise.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, Jeanne, what, in your opinion, is the best thing Alton cooks?
His bacon.
Ooh,
you like that?
That's a whole nother segment.
Oh.
Yeah.
You got some tricks with bacon there?
Yeah. He's got some skills with the bacon.
I'm gonna do a video on that.
All right.
I want to see a bacon porchetta with the skin on.
That's what I do.
That's what you do? That's a porchetta because you can use different
it's
cuts,
the whole
right?
pork belly.
Or is it always the pork belly? Was porchetta always the pork belly? Or you could do different cuts of porchetta.
Yeah,
but usually you roll the pork belly. Okay, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
I've actually seen, videos where they actually take the entire pig, and debone the pig, and then make that the entire pig, the porchetta. Because it's basically it's just that pork is stuffed and wrapped.
Man,
beautiful.
I ate before the show and I'm hungry. Is this what's gonna happen every week?
Get ready,
I'm
buddy.
gonna get hungry.
Take a good look.
Within a half an hour of actually eating, I'm gonna get hungry now every show.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Oh, I'm already getting yelled at from the guys downstairs not bringing in snacks.
Oh yeah. It's called hazing. You'll learn. You'll learn.
When am I going to get jumped in? I'm just waiting to get jumped in.
Don't worry about it. We're not going to tell you.
No, it's not getting jumped in. We've got to get you jugged.
Jugged in. Oh man. Woo!
Yes.
I'm gonna have to purchase a decal kit.
That's it.
Yeah, there you
The
go.
link's in the description.
Jeanne's decal kits rock.
Absolutely. Well, Alton, thank you so much, brother, for taking some time to join with us.
Absolutely.
I know you're busy with the filming and everything and be bouncing work, so I really appreciate you taking some time to finally we're able to hook up a date. So thank you, brother.
Do you have time for
Hey, man, I appreciate you having me on. And before I go, thank you for what you're doing for all of us in YouTube land and the barbecue community, having us on, getting us some exposure. And guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you hop on there, subscribe to the Dawgfatha's BBQ YouTube channel.
100%.
Check me out on Instagram, check me out on Facebook, and hey, connect with me.
Thanks, man.
Let's get together, let's cook something.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming on, guys.
Brother, thank you for coming on. Jeanne, always lovely to see you,
Nice to
dear.
meet you, Jeanne.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
So
Real exciting.
So that
Thanks a
went
lot.
well, the first
Yeah.
show?
My man. So many more to go. Right?
Absolutely.
Exciting stuff. We got a lot planned.
Yes, we do.
A lot planned.
Got a lot of stuff going on.
Yep.
But that's it for this week, folks. We'd like to thank you all for joining us. Catch the audio wherever podcasts are found. Catch the video on Facebook and YouTube. On YouTube, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. You have all our episodes right there at your fingertips. On social media, you can find us at Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Pit Life BBQ. Also, you can find us on New England Pitmasters.
That's our group on Facebook. Pit Life BBQ, our group.
In New England Pitmasters on YouTube also.
Yeah, new _England _Pitmasters _barbecue. And then mine's, of course, at the _barbecue broker.
Barbecue
Check out some of my
and
cooks
Johnny
on Insta.
Mags on YouTube.
Yep.
On any questions or comments, please send them to pitlifebbqpodcast@gmail.com. And like always, please subscribe, like, rate, and review. Hit that share button. We got some incredible numbers that came in this past month.
Yeah.
And a bunch of spikes in a bunch of the divisions. So it's just going to go straight.
I can't wait till next week.
Grilling
to be honest
season
with you.
has officially started when that spike hits. And everyone's tuning in. Everyone's getting ready, primed up. But great first show, brother.
Awesome, brother.
All right.
Looking forward to next week, guys.
And until next week, keep the smoke rolling. Hang on.
Attention, cigar smokers, or even friends of a cigar smoker. If you're looking to relax with a nice premium cigar or looking for a great gift for a cigar smoker, this is the gift that keeps on giving. Our friends at 2guyscigars.com have created the Cigar of the Month Club. For just $24.99 per month, you or your friend will receive 4 different premium handmade cigars every month. And shipping and handling is included. Go to 2guyscigars.com. That's the number 2, guyscigars.com, and go to the Cigar of the Month Club. You can stop anytime because there's no contract, but you won't because this is a tremendous deal for our listeners. Go to 2guyscigars.com. That's the number 2, guyscigars.com, and click the Cigar of the Month Club. At the same time, if you want to learn about the cigars you receive each month, you can smoke along with them on their own podcast called The Cigar Authority. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a nice premium cigar from our friends at 2guyscigars.com.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21, Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.